Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today we're going to continue the myth busting series where I'm going to walk you through 3 commonly heard phrases, terms or opinions and tell you whether or not they are true. 99% of the time, they're not true. If you do find the video helpful, please do drop a like. If you have any questions throughout it, throw them down below. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Let's go. Okay, so number 1. The idea that you cannot drink alcohol and lose fat at the same time. This idea is not true. You can consume alcohol and you can lose weight or drop body fat. Alcohol, like any other macronutrient or food item, is going to contain calories. Okay, it contains 7 calories per gram, which means if you're taking into account how much alcohol and therefore how many calories you're having within alcohol consumption, but within consumption of total calorie intake, you can still create a calorie deficit, stay in the calorie deficit while still consuming alcohol. The issue most people have with alcohol is that when they drink it, they are actually drinking it to an excessive amount, which is then going to lead to 1, not managing calories very well, potentially shooting over, 2, being hungover the next day, and the food choices, and again calorie management the next day not being fantastic. Number 2, the idea that you have to be very hungry to lose body fat. Again, not true. However, you will likely notice hunger levels increasing as you do drop body fat. This is because 1, you're in a calorie deficit, so you're taking in less food than you're expending. So your body's essentially going to be asking for more food intake because it needs it. 2, the longer you remain in a calorie deficit, hunger typically does increase over time. However, if you're managing hunger very well, getting adequate protein, getting adequate fruit and veg intake, making sure that you're having high volume foods while also trying to keep those food choices low in calories, then you don't have to be hungry or very, very hungry to drop body fat. You can manage hunger very well, still remain in a calorie deficit and therefore still drop body fat. And number 3, the longer the session, the better. There's this sort of idea that, people who only train for an hour aren't going to get as good results as people who train for an hour and a half or 2 hours. And the longer you're in the gym, the better your workout's going to be. And that is complete and utter nonsense. In fact, quite often, some people can typically spend too much time in the gym and might be doing too much volume. So much volume that volume is essentially becoming a little bit pointless. And you're not getting as much out of it as you potentially could. Because within a session, you're probably going to hit a point where you're performing at your best, where you're performing at a certain amount of volume that you're going to be able to recover well from the following few days. And at any point further than that, you're probably then just accumulating what people like to call junk volume. So volume training that isn't really actually doing much in terms of getting the adaptation of the results that you're after. So longer in the gym doesn't necessarily mean the best. Everyone's going to have their own, let's say, specific requirements in terms of how much volume they're doing and therefore how long they're going to take in the gym. But don't think the more you do or the longer you're in, the better. So there you have it, 3 commonly heard phrases, terms and opinions and whether or not they're true. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please drop a like. If you've got any questions on any of these, throw them down below. If you haven't already, please do subscribe and I'll catch you on the next one.